All right, how you doing? This is Dr. Dave, Paragon Chiropractic, and I'm going to read the next blog. Please let us know if you like these readings and you like this or prefer it. We can continue to do it. If you'd rather just read the blogs, that's okay. If you'd rather not anything with the blogs and you'd much rather just come in and talk about all this stuff, that's fine. Yeah, this is just stuff that's going to help you do better in life. So what we have is this is the fourth of 5 blogs in this particular series, and this one is entitled, Give Us This Day Our Daily Bread. So if you recall, what we've been doing is we're going through terms that you'll see on labels when you're trying to pick out the food that you want to buy and you want to eat. I can't encourage you enough to look at the labels. There are things in there that will help you do well, and by well I mean avoiding dementia, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and then there's things that will make you do poorly, and by which I mean very sick, Alzheimer's, dementia, cognitive decline, brain fog, stupidity, all sorts of wonderful things. Okay, so hello and welcome back. All right, so let's continue. Here's one. What the heck does bleached and enriched flour mean? You see it in everything that's made of grains. Well, I'm sure you've seen these terms, mainly anytime you buy something that is made of wheat flour, right? Simply put, wheat is bleached to make it pure white, right? Because everybody knows that's what bread looks like. It's pure white, right? And so in doing so, it destroys any nutrients, and so the manufacturers have to enrich the wheat with B vitamins, iron, and sometimes calcium. So you have this perfectly good, so to speak, grain that's destroyed to be bleached, and you take any of the nutrients and everything out of it, and then you got to add them back. Good. So what we're left with is enriched wheat flour that is essentially found in everything, right? Not that you really want to know, but a whole grain of wheat, or a berry as it's called, is comprised of 3 parts. It's comprised of bran, germ, and the endosperm. So there's the 3 parts. Okay, the bran and germ are removed, which is a shame because the bran has fiber and protein, trace minerals, while the germ contains B vitamins, trace minerals, and the grain's fat. The reason they do that is the fat could go rancid, so they can't keep a loaf of bread on a shelf for 4 or 5 years before you buy it. Think about that. Good. So the wheat berry already has everything in it, so they wipe it all out and pure it and make it white. Okay, good. So I just said that. Good. So it's the endosperm, which is ground into flour, but it has a yellowish tint to it, which makes it yucky looking because it's yellowish and brownish, and it's not that pure white that we all know bread is supposed to look like, right? So, and the bleaching they use is chlorine and benzoyl peroxide. Just so you know, benzoyl peroxide is actually, it's an antiseptic that's used for treating acne. So I guess if you've got acne, you might as well grab some duct tape and put 2 pieces of Wonder Bread on your cheek, wrap it around and see if it gets rid of your acne, I guess. It won't, so don't do that. And say, I had to have my hair cut off to here because it got stuck in the... Don't do that. Good. As stated earlier, the bleaching process destroys many of the nutrients, and so now the flour has to be enriched. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're thinking enriched is enriched, right? Not really. Wheat flour is a highly processed food. If you recall from a couple earlier blogs, I gave you the list of what are, okay processed to highly or ultra processed foods. And bread is right down there. Wheat is one of those things. So wheat is not, here we go, a nutrient-dense whole food. That's your first right there. You don't even know anymore. Just, it's not going to be good for you. And what I mean by good for you is that it activates pathways that result in poor health. So let's see what the next page has to say. So enriched flour is not a nutrient-dense whole food, now is it? If one has to eat bread and wheat, I suppose one should make sure that it is made of whole grains. Now, cautionary, because you always say, oh, eat whole grains. No. You really shouldn't eat any grains. They're not good for us. They're not healthy. Our bodies are truly not designed to eat grains. Think about that. That is to say, it has the whole wheat berry with the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. It has more fiber and protein with fewer calories than enriched flour. So, if you're one of these breader types that just has to have bread, I guess make sure it's whole wheat. And whole wheat means it's got all three parts and hasn't been bleached and enriched. Good. So, while we're on the topic, we should probably look at this thing called gluten. And gluten is a protein that's found in wheat, rye, and barley, and they say kind of oats also, guilt by association, because oats are generally processed in the same place. Wheat, barley, and rye are processed. So gluten is the protein that makes dough sticky. If you think of pizza dough, and how it's sticky and it does that, well, that's what the gluten does. And without the gluten, the dough would just tear into pieces. So you got to keep in mind, gluten is simply gluten, right? It's not evil, it's not vile, nor is it necessarily good. But in those who have sensitivities, allergies, and diseases like celiac disease, it can be a real problem. So many think that when they hear the term gluten-free, that it is a healthy alternative, and if somebody wants to eat cake and cookies and pizza and dough and bread, as long as it's gluten-free, hooray, it's good stuff. No, it's not. It is not a great health option. Once upon a time, we knew this lady, and she eliminated the grains, sugars from her diet, lost an incredible amount of weight, looked fantastic, and it was about that time, all of a sudden, this whole gluten-free stuff. So she just started buying everything that was gluten-free, thinking it was health food. And I bet this lady's close to 200 pounds and not doing real well. But she's gluten-free. Yeah, at any rate. So instead of gluten, manufacturers use like tapioca and rice-based grains, which are similar in their molecular compositions to gluten. And in fact, they're so similar, they generally bind with the same sites and act much like gluten would. So one has to be careful to see how they respond to eating gluten-free. Okay. I guess the word of caution here is to not be fooled into thinking because something is gluten-free that it is automatically healthier for you or perhaps a better option. The same would be for whole grains. Just because it's whole grain, yeah, it's better than bleached and enriched, but at the end of the day, also, it's still a processed thing. And think of what it is that you find the whole wheat in. It's bread, it's cookies, it's cake, it's dough. Are those good for you? I hate that term. It's not good for you. Will they help you? Will they better your journey? Or will they not better your journey? That's a better way to look at it. Is it something that's going to help you, or is it going to actually hinder what you're trying to do? I prefer that. One makes you more able, the other one makes you less able. Good. Like many things, gluten-free has become a buzzword, and it might actually do you more harm than good. Again, pay attention. Okay, so let's leave this blog at that and see if we can wrap all this up next time. And since this has a 5 and this is a 4, I think I do get it wrapped up next time, but it's probably going to be a semi-quasi monster blog. But once again, all of these are designed to essentially get you to start reading labels. At the end of the day, if there's a take-home message for all of this, it's an encouragement to participate in your own life and living this. You know, this whole idea, and I can't stand the idea and concept of healthcare, right? So healthcare means you go do whatever you want to do, whenever, however, and then there's somebody out here, these people called healthcare workers, who are going to care for you and make you healthy. No, that has never been the case. That will never be the case. You are the only healthcare provider that you have at the ready, simply because healthcare is what you think, how you live, your behavior, and what you put in your mouth. That's healthcare. All right, so much for the soapbox stuff. But yeah, don't get me started on this healthcare stuff. Really, 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 it's your life, it's your journey. You can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you this is a good way, that's a bad way. There are things that will help you on your journey. The ambition here is to get your health span to approximate your lifespan. So if you're here on earth, most of those years, most of them were healthy, good years, instead of, oh yeah, the last 30, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So, good. Again, as usual, let me know what you think of these, me reading these, if you prefer that, the blogs. If you want to come in and talk about this kind of stuff, this is fantastic. I don't hold myself up as an expert. I don't argue with people. I will not make you wrong. I will not tell you you're bad and I'm good or anything else like that. I'm very interested in what you think and what you're trying to do and how you're trying to accomplish it. Sometimes just showing somebody here, use the other side of the hammer, it works perfectly. So, yeah, good. I hope this is valuable to you. Please let me know. Please let me know. Okay, thank you, and until next blog.